Oh God, here we are, buddy. We finally made it. We're in the special needs group, I think, at the moment.
Oh goodness me! What a morning,
Sean,
eh?
do you like combos?
I do, Major.
Major, I can't swear in the first minute, can I?
Don't swear. We won't even go to air. What a morning! And
mate.
good morning to you, mate. Lovely to see you again.
Good morning to you, mate, on a Saturday.
Cheers. I thought you were going to cry at one point a minute ago.
Tell you what,
yeah.
mate. We went round in circles there, didn't we, for quite a while. Man, we had an issue again, which is part of the Milne Road studios here, is we're a bits of program, and boy, oh boy, did I get exposed again today. I'll tell you what, talk about monkeys.
It was it's funny for me, but not for you, I think, especially when we were sort of speaking, doing our practices, and every word we said came out about 3 seconds later, like we had a stroke. It was quite a funny thing.
We did have a bit of a delay, didn't we?
We had a delay, and I would talk, and then miraculously you switched it over to you, and then you had it.
And then the rain came down. We had about 15 decibels on the roof, so we couldn't hear anyway. Cheers, Shawnee.
Mate, what a start.
Thanks for the...
that went longer than the actual show,
thanks
though.
for the lesson.
Yes, yeah. I think what we do is when we walk out here at the end of the day, pal, we walk out and we just leave everything turned on, so that next week we can just
I shouldn't have rubbed it.
Sit down and away we go.
Yeah, God, what a I think I'll leave the massages to inside now.
Well, part of my enjoyment of these shows is coming up here and watching you put all this together. It's entertaining for me. I know it's not for you.
It's like going to the circus, isn't it?
Oh, look, and look, I know it's not easy to do, so I appreciate all your efforts. But gee whiz, it gives me a bit of a tickle inside, a bit of a laugh. I know it's not for you. You get Tourette's there for a while, but you end up putting it together. And look where we are. We've started. We're flying, so we're off. We're off and running.
I can't wait for the camera to change. I tell you, it's going to be a beauty.
Yeah. Well, I think we just keep it the same.
I think we keep it the same as well.
Well, I did suggest that you do half the show and I do the other half, and then we didn't have to worry about the cameras. But anyway, here we are. We're both up and running, and you got the footy on in the background, the old SANFL.
Yeah, isn't that good? That's still the best footy going around, isn't it?
Isn't it? Well, another again, AFL last night, bit of controversy with the off the shin goal. Should it have been paid?
Of course it should have been.
Not have been paid.
Which game you're talking about? The Carlton game?
The Carlton one, where the goal was sort of not allowed to Geelong. If that's a grand final, I guess you're a bit upset. Carlton fans, and I heard one of them after the game, Anthony Koutafidis, was on the radio, and I think he made a fair point.
Koutafidis.
He said... Koutafidis, as Rex Hunt used to say. He said last night, Carlton have had 27 of those, 1,000 of those over the years against them. So, you're not going to want to have it back, are you? But anyway,
you've got to get it. It's got to come back your way at some stage, doesn't it? So that's the rules of life, isn't it? Is
that not part of footy? Like I was thinking this morning, Geelong feel ripped off and they lose by 4 points, and the Blues had a great win, by the way. But it's been like that for 100 years now. Footy, Nord and Port, there was games where Port got a free kick in 96 in the prelim, out on the boundary. Scotty Hodges kicks it, and it was a dubious free, but it got paid, and the umpire after said, it probably shouldn't have happened. Port go into a grand final, Norwood people a bit pissed off. But the next year, Norwood people and their club fired up and they won the flag and came back at them. And
is it just the law of averages, or is it coincidence, or is it, I don't know, is it just desserts? Is it, I don't know what it is. Like, put it this way, if it's in the back lines and the siren goes 14 seconds later, bad luck, you didn't even have a shot at goal. But these things always seem to happen in the forward lines.
Well, they do.
That can change the whole game.
Well, the night before, we had Nick Watson kick a goal for Hawthorn at quarter time that got turned over because they said he'd run out the arc, had too big an arc, and it got taken off him, which really the arc wasn't that big anyway, as it turns out.
Do you think that he was waiting for the big flood?
Well, I know Jeremy Cameron was last night when he did his arc at quarter time. Same scenario.
Yep.
And he's done a bigger turning circle than the QE2, and his goal's been allowed. So I think that's where the frustration comes in, is just that bloody consistency over it all.
Certainly does make your blood boil if, you're down to that 2-minute mark.
Yeah.
And, it just always seems to happen in that forward pocket or centre half forward or, you go and kick the dog because you're bitter that your team's lost and you're growly for 3 or 4 minutes and then the world catches up to you and it's just a game. But boy, oh boy, it can make your blood boil at the best of times, can't it?
And that, as I said to you when we first caught up this morning, that's what sport is. Sport's so great because it's, 1 week your team's losing several weeks in a row and you want to belt the dog and you're not talking to the missus and the next door neighbour walks out the front and you give him the bird and whatever, and then all of a sudden you win 3 in a row like the Blues have, and you're picking his bins up and bringing them in for him, and you're talking to them, cooking for the missus, and life's all of a sudden, got a great edge about it. So it's what footy does, and it's the great part about it, I think. And I'd love that side of it. But gee, the technology.
Don't talk technology with me, mate.
Yeah, dirty word, isn't it?
Well, it is at the moment.
Yeah, it is. You'll be right, though. See, it's a bit like sport. You'll be right in an hour or so. But
we'll kick the dog and move on. But
yeah, poor old dog, he cops it, doesn't he?
Old technology. It is it's one of those things. You either get it or you don't, and if you don't, you're miles from home. Because we ended up getting a combo meal each, combo 1 and combo 2, and it brought our sound back, got rid of the echo, and everything sounded normal.
Well, and I think we need to. You and I are getting a bit older these days, but I think we need to try and remember those settings for next week.
Combo 1, combo just think of Macca's.
Combo 2, and away we go. Hungry Jacks used to have the combo meals. So
I think that's what will remind us is the Golden Arches probably.
But oh man, it's all too hard. But we're talking about the Chinese and their technology, and you and I can't even get a camera to work, and I can't even help you. This is the other thing. Poor you're flying with some handicap bloke sitting next to him who just can't help you either.
He's a special needs person, that's what he is.
Especially the way I was talking there for half an hour. But you sort of, you haven't got any help. It's not, all I just say is, plug that in there, and that's, not much help. So,
I think I must have rubbed it for 30 minutes, didn't get a reaction, and then all of a sudden it popped up. And once combo 1 and 2 came in, it was like the world had changed. All the sound came back, all the audio was back on.
Well, yeah, it just magically appeared, and after you rub it for 30 minutes and it doesn't pop up, there's a bit of an issue, I always think.
Here's an example for you. Look at the screen there. This is what we had before. And you reckon I could work out what was going on there?
No, well, that was the old Ashman and Shaun podcast. It was half of me and half of you. So we could have done it that way. There would have been some way of doing it.
It's fairly morphed up. It's sort of 2 headless chooks there, isn't it, really?
Well, yeah. I think people would be happy seeing half my head anyway.
So I think the pleasure of accidentally learning by not knowing, and it's just a feel-around thing until you can get it right. It's... to be in this little studio, even with the minimal technology we got,
absolutely.
And we've already got 75% of it done for us. All we had to do was turn the machine on.
Well, the one thing I love about you is you're an absolute perfectionist with it. You like getting it right and making sure that it's all presented brilliantly, and which you do on a weekly basis. And I shouldn't laugh when you're trying to set it up, but it is funny with you trying to get it right in the background, and us talking slow was all a bit funny, but I probably should have not paid you out at all, I reckon. I should have left you alone. But,
fairly thick-skinned at the best of time.
Well, we got a new nickname out of it, so that's the main thing.
What was the new nickname?
Major for you.
Major Fup.
Yes. But look, I mean, life's so bloody serious these days. You're gonna have fun, don't you? And have a bit of a laugh. And the way I was speaking was the funny bit with the 3-minute delay.
God.
When I was talking, that was
did sound like we had Bell's palsy for a minute there.
I kept checking the side of my face because I thought if I actually overnight had some sort of episode in bed,
some sort of reaction.
Yeah, but as it turns out, everything's fine.
What about the Bloods are playing Centrals by the looks of it?
Yeah, and Nathan Bassett back coaching the Bloods. I've always liked Bassett as a coach. Had a lot of success at Norwood, playing a very defensive game. That was one thing that people always said about him, that he played a very defensive game and it was boring. But, gee, he had a lot of success. He's gone back to Westies this year, and traditionally in the last few years they've been a club that hasn't had a lot of success, but they find themselves, I think, in third or fourth. So there's something to Bass. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
He just demands and gets teams to play good footy. So
well, they're out at Gowanstown there, aren't they? Looks like they're out at Elizabeth, yeah?
Yeah, there's Bass. Perhaps we very highly strung guy, Nathan Bassett. I played amateur cricket with him one day. He scored 100, but you'd think he was playing for Australia. Everything he does,
he's just pretty fit still, isn't he?
Just takes everything professionally, and doesn't matter whether it's a game of Parklands cricket at Kensington or whether
he's taking a bit of turf, isn't he?
I don't mind.
Looks a bit sloggy out there at Elizabeth.
Well, I reckon they've got the rain that we just had.
Or it's about to come here,
or it's
obviously,
about to come
next.
Here, but,
unless there's a delay.
Well, I think Westies are winning, Ash. That was. But no, look, I don't mind the SANFL. I don't know which SANFL side of you. I don't think I've ever asked you. Yeah. My man, Jimbo, he was a Sturt man for his life.
Yeah, Sturt. Rick Davies, the Flash, that was around my time there.
Oh, yep. And
old 29. What was his nickname? Number 25, was it?
The Flash was, I've got no idea.
Rick Davies.
Oh, Davies was 24.
24, that's it.
Yeah, 24 was the big man.
Big Richter.
And when I used to go back to the Sturt Club with Dad, we used to wander in and he'd be there having a few pints when he came back to Adelaide. Geez, he was good with some stories. You know, he told one where he went down the back line one day. They were playing in a game and Jack Odie was coaching, and the runner came out and said, Rick, Jack wants to know what you're doing in the bloody back lines. You're meant to be playing full forward. And he said, I'm trying to get a kick because the ball hadn't come down to the forward line. So he runs back, Bags Edwards, their runner in the day, and he runs back and he says, well, what did he say? He said, well, Jack, and he said, I was frightened to tell him the answer. And he said, he's down there trying to get a kick because the ball's not coming his way. And he said, I took 3 steps to me left because I was afraid of giving him the answer. And Jack stood off the chair and he said, of course he is. He's a champion.
Wow.
So, he had so many good stories, Rick, back in the day. So
I did a job for his brother over at Maitland with the smelter years ago, and his name was Dave Davies.
Was he a character as well?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. As soon as I rocked up, he was into the storytelling, mate. He had a nice property out there just in the middle of nowhere towards the coast, but not on it. But, it was all done. It was like a good, wealthy family name and place. Yeah, no, it was good. We went over there and fixed his something up, sliding doors or windows or something.
The thing that I always found about Jumbo was funny that he was never wrong. He had that arrogance about him, but it was done in a funny way. But I remember one day they had a sponsors day and a Life Members Day there, and they had the Flashback and all those sort of older players and Sandy Nelson and all the great ones. And Rick was there, and I remember being at the bar with him, and he couldn't speak by the end of the night after the game. He'd had a couple of refreshments, and the lady refused to serve him, and so Rick turned to me and asked me to get him a beer, and right in front of her, and she said, well, I know what you're doing, sir. You're getting him to get you one, so I know you're still getting him. And Rick said, yeah, well, you didn't tell him he couldn't have any, so I ended up buying him a beer, and he said, oh, thanks very much. He said, that's only beer number 27 now. He said, I've got to keep going. So he'd had a big day on the grog, but funny as anything. Like, his stories were just so funny.
You could sit around his tongue and listen to him, couldn't you, for hours?
Yeah,
so.
and Fev was there that day, Brendan Favola, and the two of them together just talking were absolutely hilarious. Fev had a couple of lemonades as well, as you would expect, and I had my Carlton hat on, and he signed my Carlton hat, so that was a great day with Fev as well, and he was telling some amazing stories with Rick Davies, so day I'll always remember because they were just hilarious, the two of them together, full of grog, but that's what it is.
Fantastic, yeah. No, we saw Big Sticks in there at. I was with Big Robbo. We went into the footy there. Must have been a Crows Carlton game, and we went back afterwards to get a beer across the road from the casino there, and old Sticks was in there, and I walked back and I turned around and I looked up at this 7-foot guy. He is so tall, dude. He is massive. So big Robbo loving Carlton. I said, Robbo, look, it's Sticks. So, of course, he got straight out of his chair and straight over for a yak with the big fella. And
oh, he would have loved that. I remember at the airport, I don't know, when I was 25, 26, so I was coming back from Melbourne and for a work function, and they're sitting in the airport coming to Adelaide was Craig Bradley. And I went up to him, and I think I was like a little 5-year-old girl. I was like, oh, Mr. Bradley, Mr. Bradley. And
how good was he, though? Yeah, he'd always have 3 or 4 bounces, wouldn't he?
That day against Adelaide in '93 at Waverley, I was actually at that game. Was the only Carlton supporter to go over on the bus that day with all the Adelaide Crows fans. But we went over for the final at Waverley, and Bradley that day absolutely tore the Crows apart. He had several bounces down that wing, if you remember, and, he was a player and a half. And I remember going up to him, I was 25, 26, oh, Mr. Bradley, got him to sign my airplane ticket that they'd given me at the gate. So, of course, I bloody lost it now, which I hadn't. But, so those were the days, and I even had I always had Bryce Gibbs's number 4 on the back of my Carlton Guernsey because he was a South Australian lad over there doing well, and of course number 4 was Sticks's number prior to that, so I always had the number 4 to represent the SA sort of Carlton gang, but now it's Ollie Holland, so it sort of has devalued a little bit.
My favourite player,
Carlton Guernsey.
Favourite player for Carlton in the time was old Diesel.
Oh,
how tough was he?
That Geelong grand final, which people talk about, 35 possessions, 3 goals, and he was my favourite as well because it was a very similar mould to Andrew Jarman. Wasn't overly blessed with pace, but skills and
skill sets
and
there.
Knowledge were just, game awareness and skills were just first class, and that's why I always loved Andrew Jarman at Norwood.
He was very good. Very good with his hands. He was very quick, and he knew where to be. Same as Darren, they were same ilk.
Well, I remember the first time they first played at Norwood North, and the first time he'd swapped from Norwood, from North Adelaide to Norwood, and they said to Jarman on the Monday night in an interview, they said, "What did you think of the match?" He said, "Oh, well, we won." He said, "But I got a bit of a headache." And they said, "Well, why'd you get a headache?" And he said, "Well, I spent the day running up and down the wing, looking up my brother's bum as he was running away from me." He said, "I couldn't catch him." He said, "So I just followed him down the wing all day. I spent the day looking at his bum, trying to chase him." So, but they were great. And, then you had back in the day, Timmy Ginever as well, guys like that.
Old Timmy, old George.
Timmy and... he also, in an interview once, he was. They said, "How was your final against Norwood?" He said, it was good." He said, "We lost the game, unfortunately." He said, "But every time I went in a pack," he said, "I kept getting my plums squeezed." And he said, "Every time I looked down, there was a long sleeve Norwood jumper attached to it." He said, with this little man giving a little girl laugh on the end of it. And he said that went on all day in the packs. And of course, it was Jars. So he was a great character of the game, Jars. And you don't sort of get that these days, unfortunately. Everyone's sort of,
We did we went into the Hyatt one night years ago, back in the. Probably late 80s, early 90s, and Andrew Jarman was in there doing a speech about something or other, and I went up to him afterwards and I said, "Hey, Jars, can you sign my builder's licence?" "Of course I can, Ashman." He signed it, and I was walking around, all night with this signature of Andrew Jarman. It was good, but that's how it used to work, didn't it? Back then, it was.
Well, the year he won
when
the
McGarry,
saw
the league players, it was a big deal,
Oh, I loved it. And one night, someone said, "I think Jars is going to win the McGarry." So come to the Redlegs Club; they're going to have it open and do the count. So I went to the Redlegs Club that night. And back in the day when it was built, and shame that went actually, but it was a great place. So we went upstairs. We had about 54 beers while the McGarry was on, and all the Norwood people were gathered, and Jars won it. And one of the property stewards who I knew, Phil, he said to me, "Do you want to get an autograph when he gets back here?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, I'd love to. That'd be great." And he said, "Well, come with me." So we went down to the depth of the Norwood Oval, down into the into the dark places of the property steward room. I thought,
Come
hello.
to the drain,
I know. I thought he
boy.
was going to tap me on the shoulder there for a minute, but we went downstairs and he got me an old Sharon and pumped it up even.
Did he?
Yeah, and we brought it back up, and so got me a texter. So when he did all this for me, so when Jars arrived, basically walked up and said, Jars, do you mind? So, big fella, hello, and he signed my footy, Andrew Jarman, McGarry medalist, whatever, 97 or 98, whatever it was. So that was a moment and a half driving home. I reckon I nearly had 58 crashes on the way home because I kept looking down the footy alongside of me. It was pretty cool. So
we went to the Great Mates debate once, won tickets for Adelaide Footy Park actually.
Oh, yep.
And we went down there and. Sure enough, they said, everybody look under your seat and, there's a prize there if you're a winner. And I put my hand down. There was a red Sharon under there.
Nice.
Brand new one. And I thought, how cool's that? All signed, ready to go. So I had it all night. I was sort of walking around the joint like a king, that I'd won the footy, and on the way out, some prick behind me came through. Knocked it out of my hands.
Oh, no.
To his buddy that was about 6 up because everyone was leaving at the same time. You couldn't move. So he'd done it deliberately that his mate was 6 or 7 people up, knocked it out of my hands. They'd grabbed it and then they ran. They went for it.
You're kidding.
And then a lot of the blokes saw what was going on.
Yeah.
So they eventually tackled him on the bitumen near McDonald's, which was about 300 metres from where this, because I couldn't go any far forward. And,
you couldn't get
and they said, go get that prick, he's got my footy, and then sure enough, this guy's chasing him, and they ended up tackling him just near Macca's and dropped him down on the bitumen or on the edge of the curb there. And,
Jesus.
So I got it back in the end. So at one stage it looked gone because I couldn't move because of the crowd. But, eventually got it back and, some bloke said, mate, here's your footy back, I probably didn't even buy him a bloody hamburger or something. But...
You're probably wondering what happened to the other blokes. Hopefully they got their comeuppance. They might have got a couple left and rights. But
yeah, I would say they probably copped a couple as well.
I also went to a night, friend of mine said there's a night with Timmy Ginever, which is all great 1990s footy stories. So we went down to Alberton one night and Timmy Ginever was there. We got our photo with Timmy and he was talking to us for ages at the bar after everyone left. He was a terrific fella.
Ageless.
But one of his stories was about a sign. When they renovated the Port Footy Club, they tore down the old change rooms. And there was a sign that had been in there since Foss Williams. So you imagine, back in the 60s. And it said, great players, I can't remember what the sign said, but anyway, it said, clubs win premierships, right? And it had a magpie and it was signed by Foss Williams. And that had been torn down out of the change rooms and it was sitting in a bin out the front, ready to be thrown out. And Ginever just happened to be coming to the club that day and saw this unbelievably famous sign in the bin. And so what he did was he rescued it. And he took it into the club and he said, I've just pulled this out the bin. And they said, oh, thanks so much. We'll put it up again. He said, no. He said, you blokes let this be thrown out. I'm keeping this at my house until I deem that the Port Adelaide Footy Club should get it back. Because he saw that as the biggest disrespect because it was, their motivating factor for 50, 60 years that all the players did, that Foss Williams did. And he said, no, that's the biggest disrespect I've ever seen, that it's in the bin. So he took 20 years to give that back to them. He waited,
is that right?
Had it at home, and then eventually they won.
They won some grand finals, didn't they?
Every year I remember going to Footy Park and seeing them beat the Redlegs. But even 98 against Sturt. They had that bloke, what was his name? Jared Twitt. Long live Jared Twitt. And he kicked 1 goal 7. And in the grand final, and Port won by 5 points, So they were lucky along the way, like even 96. Norwood were up all day under Neil Craig and in the prelim, and umpire Des Foster, or whatever his name was, came in and gave Scott Hodges a high tackle, even though it was around the shoulders on the boundary line. And you sort of thought, well, he's 50 out on the boundary. Norwood were up by 4 points.
King to the net, went through it.
comes through
15 metres higher than the goals, did it?
Yeah, and it goes straight over the top of Tom Warhurst's head, and through she goes, and Port go into the grand final some 20 seconds later, and you went home devastated. It was
there's that dog again.
And there was that bloody song every single time, the cheer, the black and the white. You'd hear that, and you just go, not again, just please not again.
I just remember as a kid that I used to wear Port Adelaide socks when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Port just used to win everywhere you went. It was Port Adelaide. And
that's why I think the power and nowhere. They talk about the Port Adelaide Footy Club are still part of the power, is the same as the Magpies, and they're the same footy club. They're not the same footy club. No one has the fear of the power. No, back in the day when the Magpies were winning and playing at their highest, and they're winning several in a row, there was a fear about them. There was a respect about them, certainly. You didn't like them, but there was that respect and fear of playing them in finals, and the Power certainly don't have that. Everyone's lining up to play Port Power these days. So, it's you can't tell me they're the same footy club. There's just not that same thing. That's my opinion on it. I don't know what yours is, but I just don't think they're aligned at all. What the Magpies used to be, and now the Power.
I certainly think the old Port was certainly on its own for a long time, wasn't it? That was the benchmark everywhere. If you got to beat Port Adelaide in a SANFL grand final, you knew you earned it.
Well,
I get the theory of it. You will never stop. I get it. They're still, for an Adelaide team, you see the Crows drop off. We've been through this 1,000 times, a lot more than you see.
You have counselling every week.
Port Adelaide just give up. I think there still is a blood value there that they are still hard at the ball, even though it's a new generation. They still have that blood into them. That there's no free lunch here, whereas the Crows get free lunches and free dinners.
Yeah, there is a difference in that regard. But I still just feel it's not the same. Head over the ball, and if we're going to lose, we're going to take you out anyway. I mean, look, one of the greatest days of my life was the 1997 SANFL Grand Final, because 96, as I said, was a heartbreaker right at the very end of the day. And Neil Craig got the sack because of that at Norwood. So because they lost that, Norwood moved on with him. But they get a new coach, 97. They just said, nah, we're taking no prisoners. And they just went from round one to the grand final with just flogging everyone, Jarman and Rowe and all those guys. And they just absolutely didn't take a backward step. And ended up playing Port in the grand final. And I think I had about 54 beers throughout the day. But they won by, 18 goals, beat them by, 85, 86 points. And I remember going home with my mates in the car, and went back to Norwood Oval that night. Oh, my God, that was a day and a half, because you just didn't do that. Who in the hell beats Port Adelaide in a grand final by 86 points? It just never happened. If that happened, you celebrated. And Norwood had won the reserves against Port Adelaide earlier that day by about 50. So, she was a huge day, that one, 97. And, this is what I say to you, coming back to the feeling of it, there was no greater joy than that day for me at the time. It was like, oh, my God, this is
Do you think the 2004 grand final that Port won was their best? I know it's the only one they got at the moment, but that year they were absolutely extreme, weren't they?
Oh, they were. And some would say that one of the best Port flags was 1990 because that was the year that it got found out that they'd been to the AFL and wanted to go in, and everyone was dead set against them, and all the other SANFL clubs just hated them. Even Glenelg were, so they played Glenelg in the grand final, but it was just everyone against Port. And I think they went very insular in their own club, and they just said, no, it's us against the world. And they ended up winning the flag. And this is what I say, the way they galvanised themselves was just incredible to watch. But 2004, yeah. When you look at it, what they beat Geelong as well. So Geelong,
and
the Brisbane Lions.
The lineup they had in there was exceptional as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, they had Josh Carr, obviously. I think he was part of it, the current coach. You had so many good players. Like there was the Burgoynes, there was Stuart Jew even.
Well, what a left kick out of the centre. How amazing.
Warren Gary Treadray.
Yeah, Treaders.
Who was, I don't think he was vaccinated at the time back then.
I don't think he got vaccinated in the end, did he?
I don't think he got vaccinated that day, but
he's the smart one.
So, then you had Choco, who has gone on to do amazing things for people because of his care for people and the way he looks after them. So, amazing team.
He's still there, isn't he? He's still in the background all the time, Who was the big guy for Nord that's been around everywhere as well?
You're talking Ruckman, are you?
No. Full forward, used to play. Could have been Ruckman. The big guy, he's been with Melbourne. He's been with everyone.
You've got me on
coach, not coach, but he was coaching at one stage. Big guy, and he lost a lot of weight.
Oh, Neil Baum.
He's still in the background.
He's pretty sick at the moment, apparently. Is he? But he's now head of footy ops at your club, at your mob, the Crows.
Yeah, right.
So he's head of footy at the Crows. He came. They paid him a lot of money to leave Richmond after what he did at the Tigers as their footy boss. So he got paid a lot of money to come home and be footy ops or footy manager at the Crows. So he, he's doing that. And wow, he was amazing. Got taken from Perth. No one knew if he could coach or not, and. Not 82, of course, he beat the Bays. And 84, he was the first ever coach to go 5th to 1st, with which they beat Port again in 84. So
missed it.
He had a unbelievable coaching career. They were in finals every single year under Barmy, and that was the
Barmy Army.
And then, of course, became an amazing administrator of footy clubs as well, and took Richmond to their 3 flags. And so now he's with the Crows. Whether he's making a difference or not, I don't know. I haven't heard much of him. I know he's down there as their footy person. Actually, there was something come up during the week I found fascinating. Obviously, Brad Scott got given the go from the Bombers, as you know, and they're now talking James Hird. Ash, what's your thoughts on this? Hird back to the Bombers.
Well, if you go by law, you'd have to say no, wouldn't you? But, at the same time, they let Wayne Carey come back and do the commentating. So, you do it for one, you do it for the next one, don't you? You've opened Pandora's box up with that. Now you've got also Cousins back on the TV. And, look, we all make mistakes, no problem at all. Everyone agrees with all that. I think looking at that, we won't get too far into that one with Hirdy, but they were just the other side of the line, they're allowed to go up to the line, aren't they? And if they've just spilled over, then I would say, yeah, what's the big kerfuffle? Everyone deemed that they had greater access by whatever they were taking, and that was then deemed illegal. So the law says, boom, you're guilty, bang, you're out.
So,
but was he?
Do you think he should be allowed to come back there? Like, if you're a Bomber supporter, do you think you would be keen on him coming back to coach your footy club again? That's my question, I guess.
I just don't know how it looks. I think that you've got to live within the law and you've got to play by the law. So to me, he still crossed the line. To me, the same thing with the cricketer, the Australian cricket player, Justin, whatever his name was.
Warner.
That once again, you were done doing something illegal. It's against the Australian way, and it was deliberate. So to me, if you're guilty, then probably no, he shouldn't ever been able to play again here professionally.
Yep.
And that guy smashed his racket, didn't he? But at the end of the day, I would probably say no at this stage based on the fact that he was deemed.
Well, look.
But it wouldn't bother me whether he did, you know what I mean? I don't think it was naughty enough, and I don't reckon they won 9 premierships in a row to justify belting him, really, because that's what you're doing. You're saying you went over the line, you're gone. He didn't tamper with the ball. He didn't tamper with the rules. He just took the rules or somebody down there allegedly took the rules past the line that you're not meant to go past. So if he was coach and he knew about it, then you go, how can you let them play on? But they seem to let them do it. It's...
Well, the groundswell I find fascinating. Like, they lost that final to Carlton by 99 points or whatever it was, and he said, my club will never be this bad again. And it was men versus boys, and Carlton physically just beat them up. So the following March, Carlton play Essendon, and Essendon win by 3 goals. And all of a sudden, they're at all the Incredible Hulk. And Carlton fans have gone, well, hang on, what's happened here? So how's this happened? And then, sure enough, it gets investigated, and he's done the wrong thing. But for me, if I'm a Bombers fan, he put my club through hell for a long time, and players that we had, some of their lives were just mentally ruined after that. Like, they had to be injected and they didn't want to be, and all those sort of things. So you get to a stage where I don't know if he can come back morally. I mean, look, at the end of the day, the courts found they did nothing wrong, right? If you look at it from a court point of view, like you're saying legally, they were told that they did nothing illegal under ASADA, but it was just the wrong thing to do, was to inject those players when they didn't want to be, which is fair enough, right? That is terrible. So, but then you get the other aspect where everyone in the club, like Michael Long came out, he never speaks, but he came out publicly and said we need Jimmy Herd back to become a finals threat. Again, he's going to be the great man to lead us forward. Obviously, Sheeds came out and said. So there's an absolute groundswell now that Herd should get it. And the other thing is that anyone else that was going to be in the race, your Hinkleys, your Longmires, all those great coaches.
I'd prefer a Hinkley or someone like that in there to do it.
Sure. Because the other thing is that Herd hasn't been in coaching, or he says that he wants to be a coach again. Well, that's terrific. But what have you done in the last 10 years? You just went to commentating, and all of a sudden Essendon's come up. I don't know. I think you're better off going a Longmire or a Hinkley, to be honest, because otherwise, look, for the rest of us, it's going to be grab the popcorn and let's have a good laugh if Herd comes back. In 4 years' time, they're going to be out looking for another coach to then lead them properly. So I don't know whether it's going to be...
I'd like to see Hinkley. I think Hinkley would deserve an opportunity at a good Victorian club too, one that's got a lot of history. And I think you don't want to re-blood old blood. I think you want to get something in a different perspective rather than... pull the past back in. I don't ever see that it works the second time. You can, if you're a boxer and you retire, you never come back the same.
Well,
and if you're going to re-blood all your ideals again, even if they have changed slightly over the last decade that you've been out of it, I think that there's other people deserving that have played within the rules.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think they deserve the next opportunity.
Well, Essendon need to come out and they need to be really strong on one or two things, right? They need to either say, yes, we're going down the James Herd path, or they need to say, no, he's not involved and we want the best possible candidate, which I think is what they should be doing. Interesting that Ken interviewed at Carlton, or will be next week, because of his mate Chris Davies and Boki's there. So I think that would also be a good fit for Ken, because I think he's the sort of character that can bring the Carlton Army with him, because he gets emotional. I think he could get people up and about. I think that would be a terrific thing to look at, Ken at the Blues. But what Essendon do is they shoot themselves in the foot, because Ken, Adam Simpson, John Longmire have all now said, well, no, they've said that Hurdy's our man by the looks of it, so it's his job. So therefore, they don't put their name into it, So I think they've shot themselves in the foot a bit, the Bombers.
Yeah, don't like that. No, I don't like that. Yeah, as you said before, I just think it's...
They're caught now, losing to the Eagles by a lot.
Yeah, they're getting hammered there, aren't they?
Anyway.
95-41, yeah. Anyway, but I Hey, look, this segment has been fantastic on the footy, hasn't it? We've really ripped through the whole thing.
Yeah, well, the good thing is for the Crows and Power people, they
got a week off
They
this
don't
week.
lose this week. They won't have to go and see the psychologist. It'll be a couple $100 more in the pocket because they won't have to pay for to go and sit on a couch and work through the issues.
Dog can sit in the bed for a bit longer, can't it? Not stress out.
Wife will be happier, the wife will get spoken to and all those sort of things. So, yeah, look, it's funny because you sort of also sit around going, oh, it's a bye week. What do I do? But
it is strange without the footy on. Even if you even 3/4 follow, as you know, look, what I'm like, I'm away from it, and then I'm into it for a few weeks, and then I seem to disappear again. But while we're
big game next week though, Thursday night. Gee whiz, Geelong and Adelaide. Like that's
where's it at?
Well, it's at Adelaide Oval, which
that's good.
Sort of I wouldn't rule Adelaide out of that. Geelong looked a bit sore and tired last night after the Blues had finished with them. So, are the Crows, is this take a breath, have a bye, come back and, gee whiz, that's a big scalp if they get it, and then they get the Western Bulldogs that Eddie had the week after, which is another big week for the Crows. So they've got a couple of big games coming up.
Well, they'll have to be on their first quarters, won't they? Because I've been fairly critical of their first quarters for a while now, but...
Yep.
They went down to Tassie and did their first quarter and then lost the game anyway. So, my methodology really didn't work either. So,
yeah. I wonder if this is at Elizabeth. I wonder if there's a Steve Connery floating around.
I would say so. Yeah, I would think he's out there.
They keep showing the fans. I kept looking for Connery in the crowd there, but they're probably being
I did see James Gowans the other week down at down near the House of Pain there, where we love the baseball club. West Islands.
Did you? Yeah.
I was across the road there, just across the road from Rutland, and there he was. And pulled over and had a yak with him, and Whitey, when's the podcast? I said, I'm nearly ready for you, mate. I got a few technical issues I still got to get out of the way.
He's a good fella, isn't he? And it'd be great to see.
The beauty of them is that you go into the job, and by the time you leave, you're 4 foot taller, you're pumped, you feel like you've just driven go-karts for 2 hours in a row, and like you've got to go and try to get rid of all this energy. You've just been pumped up with all this. Yeah. And it's unreal. It doesn't matter what time of the year, what time of the day it is, you always come out feeling better than you went in. And tip my cap to them. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, you always have that feeling when you're around them. Like, they're great characters. And I remember I was working for Flight Centre at Elizabeth way back, and we had to go to a Central's end of year function because we were sponsoring them, and it wouldn't. Hello,
technical troubles.
Oh, hello. You've got some technical issues again. That's unusual.
Sure. Stay there, mate.
You got your microphone? Yeah. So
we got the batteries back on charge again. So
you wouldn't believe it. By the end of the night, they'd had a couple of lemonades. I'd had a couple of lemonades, and I'm at the bar ordering a lemonade, and I'm in a headlock all of a sudden, just out of nowhere. And it was Jimmy just had me in a headlock at the bar, and I was a sponsor, obviously. And he's, get on the dance floor, and whatever. And they just won the flag that year, and it was one of the 9 they won in a row. But he had me in a headlock and dragged me out on the dance floor, and we got out there and had a dance with a couple of nice young ladies, and we came back out and had a few more beers, and you walked away feeling $1 million. You're like, what a bloody great...
They're still pretty fit.
What a bloody great night this was, when the blood finally went back to my head from walking away from him. But... great fellas. They always make you feel good, and we've dealt with them also down at the smelter, haven't we? And
sure have.
They did some work for the smelter. Not sure if they liked it, but they did some work down there. I'm not sure if they enjoyed it, but
they still got jobs in the system, mate. I know that they get looked after by us. They're a good mob to work with, and it's actually quite an honour to work with them. It's good fun.
There's Patrick Cripps doing a Colgate commercial.
Yeah, how's that, champion? So
what a marvellous man. Thank you, Gerard Waitley.
We just better thank a few people. SOS Safety Signs, Big Jason, Chris Mann down there at Mullers Road, Green Acres. Need signs? Go down, get them. You need stubby holders done? Go down and see them.
Yeah.
Stickers,
great
anything.
Man, anything. In fact, you can make it up, even what you want written on it.
Absolutely.
You know,
champion.
Technical difficulties. You can put that on a sign, and he's a great fella.
What about our local pub?
Oh, the Fox and the Firkin.
Oh, the Fox and the Firkin.
We need to get up there as a duo.
We should
imagine
get up.
if we did a podcast up there, their technology
We could just take the telly up, we'll take the camera up there, and we could dub it over, couldn't we?
Because it's easy, you know. I reckon we just set it up in the Fox and the Firkin out the front there. What do you reckon?
Yeah, just go up and get a large Firkin beer. You know, they're all half a litre, aren't they? They're 500ml beers. So
and you can have
get up and see Painey and get some.
So I was just about to say, see Painey, we could even get him on the show, get him to have a couple of words and talk about his life and how well it's going up at the Fox. That'd be great, and we can promote him while we're. That's not a bad idea, I reckon. We try that.
I reckon.
Or we even try and do one from SOS Safety Signs down there with Jason.
We could do a live one out the front, couldn't we?
Do a live one out the front. Wouldn't that?
Although his boss is across the road, we probably shouldn't do that either. But
okay.
No, but it's all good fun, isn't it?
The other place we could go is we could actually go down to Hellfire.
David, we could go down and see David and do a drinks test, yeah?
A live cross and a drinks test. What could go wrong with that? What could go...
Well, it's only an hour on the plane from Melbourne. Maybe we just start across there and 40 minutes in a hire car, we could be sitting there with Dave, couldn't we?
Well, you know, next Saturday we go and watch Bombers and Carlton at the MCG. I think that'll be a ripper on the Saturday, and then we make our way down to Hellfire on the Sunday and just make sure the throat's well lubricated and have a couple of drinks and make our way back. I reckon that sounds like a weekend for me.
Sounds good to me. Levita Liverpool, I got hold of him during the week and we finally got a podcast done, might have been Thursday night.
Really great show that. I did watch that. So
hello to Justin Hopper. Yeah, it was good to catch him up.
Justin. That was actually a really good show. I enjoyed it. You two always do a good show. So
he looks almost Australian, doesn't he? He's that dark.
I think he wants to come across.
He said he was half Australian now anyway.
Have you asked him who he follows in soccer?
Liverpool.
Oh, he does. He's a Liverpool man. Yep.
So I did say to him, you probably match up more with Sydney as a harbour town, you know, with the Wirral and the and the what's it called there, the Mersey. So I said you both got red in your Guernsey and a little bit of white. So I said you'd probably match up with Sydney better than anyone else. But.
Well, I don't know. Liverpool, I suppose that'd be a Sydney one, wouldn't they?
Big shout out to North Brighton anyway. The Wirral on the other side of the Mersey there in Liverpool.
Yep.
So, it was nice to finally get that one out of the way because they are very hard to line up. As you know, it's hard enough for you and me to get together. And
I keep looking for Connery here.
He'd be in the back. He'd be there with
the back.
There'd be a gold beer somewhere, wouldn't
He's
there?
probably in the change rooms yelling because they're down by 20-odd points. He might be, yes. Come on, fellas.
He's probably talking to old mate up there with...
that's probably him up the back somewhere there.
What's his name again?
I don't know.
No, the commentator on the right.
Oh, Rhett Biglands.
He plays baseball for Henley, doesn't
he? Can we not bring that up?
He's whipped our ass a few times. He's a smiling assassinator as well. He just smiles at you when he knocks you over the fence.
Well, you know that game that I pitched for you and he up at Dodgers and he hit one from Dodgers. I think it landed at Elizabeth North somewhere.
Was it Lee Salisbury? So it had gone over Bridge Road.
Well, actually, I think I found it on the way home. But there was a few ducks on the pond too at the time, which didn't help. So he can play baseball. Red, he's a big, strong man. But
sure.
Next Saturday, South Adelaide. No one follows South today. But anyway,
I don't know. People at Noarlunga still do, but
okay.
it's big cold down there. Imagine how cold on that hill.
I went to a Norwood South game one day down there. It was 8 degrees in Adelaide, and I reckon it was minus 14 down at Noarlunga. That was
be a bit cooler.
And Norwood lost by a point, so that was a sad drive home too. But Rhett could play baseball. But Connery, he'd be out at Elizabeth. I reckon we'll give him a shout out. He's a great fella. Is there anyone else that we should give a shout out to?
We shout out a big shout out to Joe Balzan. He'll be missing the Crows this week. He'll be ready to gear back up with everybody next week and get the footy going. And
he'd be a bit toey as a Roman sandal. What is he?
Jodie would be. Jodie, she's
she'd into it. There's Cripper again.
Yeah, what do you call a good supporter of the Crows? So
she sits near Andy Brown, which I know she loves. She loves when Andy comes down and talks to her. She can't get enough of that. So Scott Coxhill, the paymaster, was telling me that Andy's been just not annoying Joe and Jody, but sort of when they come past, he does have quite a bit to say and a bit of a hello. So I know the Bowsans just love when he does that. They're all for it. So
we better wind up this one.
Yes.
We better get into the baseball at the moment. The Yankees, the New York Yankees, have been on a fairly good little sprint again, haven't they?
Coltrane.
How good did he throw the other night? Mate.
12 strikeouts, if you don't mind.
He just had it on a cable, didn't he?
Everything that you think and you know of him came back, and that was super exciting. Like 12 strikeouts. I think it was only 4 hits in 7 innings, no earned runs, and no walks. So he didn't even walk anyone. 12 or 13
How
strikeouts.
majestic is his wind-up?
Oh, the new wind-up is just...
he's got all day to do it, hasn't he?
He just...
And delivers the goods.
Through. And look...
Oh, Mazza be dancing
how
around,
exciting. They're only 2 games out the lead now again from Tampa, so check that before coming on air. So they're 2 games out. So...
Lift us that battery up out of there.
That whole thing that you and I go on that roller coaster... all of a sudden, we're feeling good about them again. So perhaps as navy blue and white sporting teams, they were on the losing. Carlton were getting thrashed, and so are the Yankees. Now the Blues are on the up. So about the Yankees, it's I don't know. Perhaps there's a correlation there, but it'd be interesting to see if God or the universe or something's playing at hand there. But
still a long way to go. It's only early days.
Yeah, it is. It is. And halfway through the footy season, hasn't it gone fast? Like, we're already halfway through the footy season.
That's crazy, yeah. Well, the AFL's gone
we've
quick.
Got and one thing I don't like about, I will say about the AFL, you get 4 or 5 weeks of buys. So there's 4 or 5 weeks where, you're only getting a handful of games. I think that could be done over a couple of weeks, or perhaps even just, I heard Kane Corns, not generally popular with a lot of people, but Kane suggested perhaps, the 1 week of buys, have a buy round in the middle of the year. Everyone has their buy and then they get on with it. I didn't mind that. I think that's then, there's only 1 week where you sort of, or even 2 weeks where you get half the games and then half. That's not a bad idea. Oh, you're back as well. Look at you.
It's still got the battery light, but...
You're back. Look, there's different ways to look at it. I don't like the 4 or 5 of...
I don't like the break at all, actually. Even if they rotate over 2, 3, 4 weeks and just drop 1 or 2 teams off a week. Do that at worst.
Yeah.
Because all it does is just kill momentum. They're nearly halfway through, but at the end of the day, they're athletes. I don't think they need a week off yet.
Oh, it's brutal. I see a need for a week off. I see that, but to do it over 4 or 5 weeks.
But why rotate the same state off in the same week?
Oh, that's a mistake. That's a mistake.
Is it? You reckon it's a mistake? I think it's just absolutely. I don't know how to say it. I think it's poor that you could see it on paper. Why would you have as West Coast and Fremantle got the same buy or?
I haven't looked that up, to be honest.
Is there 2 teams in Victoria only that get a buy at the same time? Oh, come on, there's 8 Victorian teams.
But do you know what? I agree with you. I think it's ridiculous that you have both SA teams off on the same weekend.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous. We're on the baseball, by the way, but anyway, keep going.
Sorry, no. My last point on that is that it's a fixture. As someone always calls it, a draw or a program, but it's a fixture. They fixture it, and when you look at it for St Kilda now, I read that they don't travel for the rest of the year. St Kilda, they do not go out of Victoria for the rest of the year. In the final 13 games, they've got 11 at Etihad, and then 3 at the MCG. I'm asking how that takes place. That's just. It's an advantage. It has to be.
Has to be.
It has to be.
If you look, you'd almost say that all the interstate clubs travel every fortnight, roughly.
Yeah. Yep. Or even Ross Lyon. He said we don't leave Victoria now. You know, we got 13 games at home, and it's been really difficult because in the opening weeks we had to go to the Gold Coast and we had to go to Adelaide and we had to go to whatever. He listed 3 weeks where they travelled. Yeah, he listed 3 weeks where they travelled. I'm like, you poor bastard. You know, like. You know, he's sort of not happy about it. I thought, give us a spell. Like, you know, now you're home for 13 weeks. Like, it's just it's not right.
All right, on the bus.
Anyway, baseball.
We better
on the bus.
No, you better wind up the baseball quickly and.
Right. There's nothing else to say. No local baseball at the moment.
Yankees on the way. They're travelling quite well. They've got themselves back in line, which is good for us supporters. So
only 2 games out, so that's nothing.
Hopefully they can just maintain that. A lot of the lefties, Berenger and Rice, are still hitting well. Rice is right up there with the best of them at the minute. So
yeah, Ricey's having an unbelievable.
The outfield, don't they seem to have time to catch the balls? You know, it's just amazing at these big hits. We better get on the bus. We're about 54 minutes now. We're going to run out of the camera again. So
yeah. So we don't, with the issues we've had today, we don't want to then run out of the camera. So go.
All right, Kylie Minogue, she's on the bus again. She's going to be driving again. She's on YouTube at the moment. There's a whole new movie brought out with her again. She's looking smoking hot. She's a hottie. She's about 2 months older than me. She's a good-looking bird. I think she's done her time, and she deserves to be in the front. We might put Michelle in the front with her as well as a...
Michelle's going to be on there.
Yeah, she'll be on there just to make sure Kylie's looked after.
The singing budgie, as they used to call Kylie. But I'm going to put on there...
Who have you got on your bus?
Johnny Farnham.
The Voice.
He's going through a tough time at the moment, and they're doing a bit of a thing in Melbourne coming up in the next few weeks where all the great singers are going to do a tribute to him.
He's a good bloke.
There's people coming over. I think Richard Marx is coming over from America. So there's a few famous singers who are going to do a night for John because a tribute night because he is not going well. So he's been an absolute icon since I was knee height to a grasshopper. So amazing songs that
What about our big man, the Big Freeze, that's just left us recently?
Yeah, Neil. Yeah,
Neil, get the Danaher on the bus. We'll put him up the back there where he can have a chin wag with all the boys up the back.
Yeah, I really like that. That's a good one and unbelievable what he did. And the mark of a great man is someone that does something selfless that won't benefit themselves. Like all that money that he's raised for MND, the millions. And in the end, he didn't get to see the benefit of that, but he was willing to put in the hard yards.
All right. I'm also going to put Rick Davies' brother on, Dave Davies from Maitland. We're going to put him up there on the back of the bus.
Yep.
And I'm going to put John Platten up there as well.
Well, I'm going to go with a couple of blues. I'm going to put Cripper on there. You got to put Cripper on after last night. He put on his cape and
love it.
Got to put him on. And I reckon the Big Fev. I think Fev would be fun to
Big
have
Fev
on the
as
bus
well.
I love the Fevolution. I think he'd be amazing to have on the bus with a couple of pints. So I think that'd be great. And do we put the paymaster on to collect the money again?
The paymaster he can take the money on the way through for sure. He's just come back from overseas, so he'll be keen up there to keep the money coming back in. I'm going to put Diesel on the bus as well.
Oh, this got a blues. I like it. This is great.
It's got a bit of a blues buzz about it.
Yeah, this is great. And we'll go with my final one. I'll put Bradle.
Fucking thing's gone again.
Oh, your camera's gone again,
I'm going to sit on that. We're nearly at the hour
I'm
anyway.
going to go with Braddles finally. We'll get Braddles on there. The great Craig Bradley, number 21. So, so we got a few there. Very much a blues feel. I like it. Everyone should be on the blues bus, shouldn't they?
I think so. I think there's room for one more each.
Okay, yes. Who are you going with?
No, you got me.
Oh, okay. You.
I can't find one. I'll get one in a minute, but no, talk away. I can't.
Oh, okay. You've gone to water.
I can't find one.
I'm putting Connery on because we've been talking about him for a while. So and he looks it's pretty wet out there at Elizabeth. So he probably needs to get on the bus to dry off.
All right. Well, I'm going to put Bowzan on there at the back, and
as well.
He can have a chat with all the boys up the back there and keep them in line. Tell them a few stories about his General Motors holding there.
Yeah.
Down at the Lions Gate. Hey, we're out of battery. We've used a fair bit of it up at the beginning beginning.
What a day.
It's been a Saturday again. We seem to have better fun on Sontag and Mondays, but
don't know if there's something in the air.
At the end of the day, we did avoid that heavy rain. And look, hey, thanks again for your time. It's great once a week to get the show up and going, and it keeps Michelle happy on the bus on Monday morning. So
if that's the only thing it achieves, that's fine by me.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Cheers, Ashman.
We'll catch you up next week.
Take care, pal. See ya.
See you, mate.
Bye.